we obviously would have avoided enormity of all the mistakes for the engineering side of things. There was just so many false starts, like when you have to rewrite code sometimes 3 different times. That's something obviously you would avoid because you have all that hindsight that's there. We probably wouldn't have changed too much in the research agenda. There were a few things we could have accelerated and some false paths that we went down that we would have avoided. I would have launched a product like Yoroi long before launching Daedalus, and we would have had a command line only full node. Uh, we'd have less full nodes in the ecosystem, but we'd have a much, much, much richer wallet experience. And we could have had a huge amount of feature development that we didn't have. I would have also launched Prism much earlier in the project history, and it would be far more evolved, and we could have much tighter coupling of identity with wallets, and that would have given us a big regulatory advantage. I probably would have started the Yella KVM project a year earlier, and it would be much more mature. And I don't know, maybe we would have had Plutus bake in the lab a little longer and just gotten Idris as one of the compiled languages to Yella, right? All the semantics for that. And then allowed people to write high assurance smart contracts through that approach instead of going for the whole banana with extended UTXO and so forth. It just had the chimeric ledger idea. In terms of the base programming language, there was a strong argument made to have written Cardano in its first generation in Scala. And had Scala 3 existed, I probably would have done that. Same for F#5, because those have evolved to a point that they've absorbed a lot of the original Haskell advantages. But, in 2015, it was a different world. And, there were assumptions we made about how easy and how hard it was to do things respectively. And some things we thought were going to be super hard ended up being somewhat simple. And some of the things we thought were going to be really easy ended up being super hard, like the hard fork combinator, for example. But on the other hand, look at where we're at and look how much success the project has had and how far along we've gone on the vision. And honestly, we're moving faster and faster, and we've gotten over those growing pains. So, our critics seem to think that we're just frozen in mud and nothing changes and we learn nothing. But I think the people who are giving us a fair shake realize that we really do have the wind at our backs and we're gaining momentum. So I'm very happy, all things considered. It's just, there's a lot of things I wish I could have gotten a do-over with. And, in future projects, we'll learn those lessons.